worked in the same building, walked the same hallways, taught in classrooms right next door to each other. They were both married, both had children, both had families waiting for them at home. But somewhere between faculty meetings and after-school tutoring sessions, Jennifer Hayes and Michael Torres fell in love. It was forbidden. It was reckless. It was a secret they thought they could keep forever. Until May 19, 2023, when Michael's wife, Amanda, walked into a classroom after hours and found her husband in the arms of another woman. What happened next would leave 2 marriages destroyed, 4 children traumatized, 2 careers in ruins, and a small Texas town asking one question: how did it come to this? This is the story of a forbidden affair, a marriage pushed to its breaking point, and the devastating consequences that no one saw coming. Before we dive into this case, make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment down below what state you're watching from. We're building the biggest true crime community here at American Shadow, and we want to hear from you. Now let's uncover the truth about what happened in Fairview, Texas. Fairview, Texas. A quiet suburb about 30 miles north of Dallas. Population 23,000. Good schools, safe neighborhoods. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone. Where families put down roots where nothing bad ever happens. Fairview High School sits at the heart of the community. 2,000 students, award-winning academics, championship sports teams, a source of pride for the town. Jennifer Hayes had been teaching English at Fairview High for 8 years. She was 36 years old, blonde, petite, energetic. Students loved her classes. She made Shakespeare fun. She organized the drama club. She stayed late to help struggling students. Jennifer was married to Robert Hayes. They'd been together for 12 years. Robert was a software engineer who worked from home mostly. He was quiet, introverted, the opposite of Jennifer's outgoing personality. They had 2 children, Olivia, age 10, and Mason, age 7. They lived in a nice 4-bedroom house on Maple Ridge Drive, 2-car garage, backyard with a playset, the picture of suburban success. But behind closed doors, the marriage was struggling. Robert and Jennifer barely talked anymore. They were more like roommates than husband and wife. The spark was gone. Had been for years. Jennifer threw herself into her work, stayed at school later and later, came home exhausted. Robert didn't seem to notice. Or if he did, he didn't say anything. Michael Torres had been teaching history at Fairview High for 5 years. He was 39 years old, tall, athletic, charismatic. He coached the varsity basketball team. Students looked up to him. Parents trusted him. Michael was married to Amanda Torres. They'd been together for 15 years. High school sweethearts. Amanda was a stay-at-home mom. She'd given up her career as a paralegal when their first child was born. They had 2 children, Sophie, age 12, and Lucas, age 9. They lived in a beautiful home on Oakwood Lane, just 3 miles from the Hayes family. Amanda had decorated every room perfectly. She volunteered at the kids' schools. She was president of the PTA. She was devoted to her family. But Michael was restless. He loved Amanda, at least he thought he did. But somewhere along the way, the passion had faded. The excitement was gone. He felt trapped, suffocated by routine. Jennifer and Michael had worked together for 5 years. They'd always been friendly, colleagues, nothing more. But in the fall of 2022, something changed. It started innocently enough. They were both assigned to the school improvement committee, weekly meetings after school, planning, brainstorming, working late together. They started talking, really talking, about more than just school stuff, about their lives, their dreams, their disappointments, tear marriages. Jennifer confided in Michael that she felt invisible at home, that Robert didn't see her anymore, didn't appreciate her, didn't make her feel special. Michael admitted he felt the same way about Amanda, that she was an amazing mother, but she'd stopped being a wife. Everything was about the kids, about the house, about appearances. He felt like he'd disappeared. They understood each other in a way their spouses didn't understand them anymore, and that understanding slowly turned into something more. By December of 2022, Jennifer and Michael were having an affair. It started with lingering looks in the hallway, hands brushing as they passed papers, text messages that went from professional to personal to flirtatious to explicit. Then came the first kiss. In Michael's classroom after everyone had gone home, Jennifer had stayed late to help him grade papers. They were alone. The tension had been building for weeks, and then it happened. After that, they couldn't stay away from each other. They met in empty classrooms during their planning periods, in Michael's car in the back parking lot during lunch, at cheap motels 30 minutes away on weekends when they could make excuses to their spouses. They were careful, so careful. Different hotels every time, cash only. Burner phones for their most intimate messages. They deleted texts, cleared browser histories. They thought they'd covered all their bases. Jennifer told Robert she'd joined a book club that met Thursday evenings. Robert never questioned it. He was usually working on his laptop anyway. Michael told Amanda he'd started playing basketball with some guys from work on Saturday mornings. Amanda was happy he was getting exercise. She never suspected anything. For 6 months, the affair continued. Jennifer and Michael fell deeper in love, or at least they thought it was love. Maybe it was just escape. Maybe it was just the thrill of something forbidden, something new, something that made them feel alive again. They talked about leaving their spouses, starting over, being together for real, but they never actually did it. There were always reasons to wait. The kids, the money, the complications, the fear. So they kept sneaking around, stealing moments, living a lie, and their spouses had no idea. Until May 19th, 2023, the day everything fell apart. It was a Friday, the last day of school before Memorial Day weekend. Students were gone by 3:30. Most teachers left by 4. But Jennifer and Michael stayed. They always stayed late on Fridays. It was their time. Michael's classroom was in the back corner of the building, away from the main office, away from the parking lot. Private. They felt safe there. Around 5 p.m., they were together, in Michael's classroom. The door was closed. They thought they were alone. They thought no one would come looking. They were wrong. Amanda Torres had been suspicious for weeks, maybe months. She couldn't put her finger on it exactly, but something was off. Michael was different, distant. He was on his phone constantly, smiling at texts, then quickly putting the phone face down when she walked in the room. He'd started showering as soon as he got home from work. He'd never done that before. He was paying more attention to his appearance. New cologne, new clothes, working out more, and those Saturday morning basketball games. He'd come home barely sweating. His gym bag didn't smell like sweat. Amanda had checked. Something wasn't right. On May 19th, Amanda decided to surprise Michael at school. She'd bring him dinner. They could eat together in his classroom, maybe reconnect, maybe fix whatever was wrong between them. Amanda loaded Sophie and Lucas into the car, picked up Michael's favorite meal from his favorite restaurant, drove to Fairview High. She'd called Michael to tell him she was coming, but he didn't answer. That was odd. But maybe he was busy cleaning up his classroom. Maybe his phone was on silent. Amanda parked in the nearly empty parking lot. She recognized Jennifer Hayes' car and Michael's truck. Must be a teacher meeting or something. She grabbed the food, told the kids to wait in the car. She'd just be a minute. Amanda walked into the building, down the familiar hallways, past the trophy cases, past the bulletin boards covered in student artwork, toward Michael's classroom in the back corner. The hallway was quiet, empty. Amanda's footsteps echoed on the linoleum floor. She reached Michael's classroom. The door was closed. That was unusual. Michael always kept his door open unless he was teaching. Amanda knocked. No answer. She knocked again. Still nothing. She tried the handle. It was unlocked. She pushed the door open, and she saw them. Michael, her husband, the father of her children, the man she'd been with since she was 17 years old. He was kissing another woman, Jennifer Hayes, the English teacher, the woman Amanda had met at school functions, the woman she'd made small talk with at PTA meetings. They were pressed against Michael's desk, his hands in her hair, her hands on his chest. They didn't hear Amanda come in. They were too wrapped up in each other, too lost in the moment. Amanda dropped the bag of food. The sound echoed through the classroom. Michael and Jennifer jumped apart, turned toward the door, saw Amanda standing there, her face white, her mouth open in shock. For a moment, no one moved. No one spoke. Time seemed to stop. Then Amanda said one word. Michael. Her voice was barely a whisper, but it cut through the silence like a knife. Michael stepped away from Jennifer, his face flushed. Amanda, this isn't... I can explain. But he couldn't explain. There was no explanation that would make this okay. Amanda had just watched her husband kissing another woman. The betrayal was right there in front of her. Undeniable. Devastating. Amanda looked at Jennifer. Jennifer couldn't meet her eyes. She was staring at the floor, tears streaming down her face. She looked terrified, guilty, small. Robert stood there, silent, processing. His wife, his Jennifer. The mother of his children had been cheating on him for months with a coworker, and he'd had no idea. I want you to leave, Robert finally said, his voice still eerily calm. I need you to pack a bag and leave, right now. The kids are at my mom's. I don't want them to see this. I don't want them to see you. Not yet. Not until I figure out how to explain to them that their mother is a cheater. The word hit Jennifer like a slap. Cheater. That's what she was. She'd tried to rationalize it, to tell herself it was love, that she and Michael had something special, something worth fighting for. But in reality, she was just a cheater, a liar, a homewrecker. Jennifer packed a bag, just like Michael had done the night before. She tried to talk to Robert, to apologize, to explain. But Robert wouldn't look at her, wouldn't engage. He just stood there waiting for her to leave. When Jennifer walked out the door, she heard Robert lock it behind her, heard the deadbolt slide into place. The finality of that sound, it broke something inside her. Jennifer drove to a hotel, the same hotel where she and Michael had met so many times before. It felt fitting, poetic, tragic. She checked in, went to her room and called Michael. He answered on the first ring. Jennifer, are you okay? Robert knows, doesn't he? Everyone knows, Michael. The whole town knows. We're all over social media. People are calling me a whore, a homewrecker. Parents are demanding the school fire both of us. It's a nightmare. I know, Michael said quietly. I've been getting the same messages. I tried to go to the house. Amanda's gone, took the kids. I don't know where they are. What are we going to do? Jennifer asked, her voice small, scared, like a child. I don't know, Michael admitted. I don't know. They talked for an hour, going in circles, blaming themselves, blaming each other, wondering how it had come to this, wondering if there was any way to fix it. But deep down, they both knew. It was over. Their marriages, their reputations, their careers, everything. Monday morning, May 22nd, the first school day after Memorial Day weekend. But Jennifer and Michael wouldn't be returning to Fairview High. Not today. Not ever. At 8 a.m., both of them received identical emails from Principal Davidson. They were being placed on administrative leave pending an investigation into their conduct. They were not to return to campus, not to contact students, not to contact other staff members. They were suspended. By noon, the school board had called an emergency meeting. Parents packed the auditorium demanding answers, demanding accountability. How could this happen? How could two teachers have an affair right under everyone's noses? What about the students? What kind of example were these teachers setting? The school board listened, sympathized, and ultimately made a decision. Jennifer Hayes and Michael Torres would not be returning to Fairview High School. Their contracts would not be renewed. Effective immediately, they were out. Meanwhile, lawyers were getting involved. Amanda had filed for divorce, asked for full custody, asked for the house, asked for everything. Michael's lawyer told him he didn't have much of a leg to stand on. He'd had an affair. He'd destroyed his marriage. Amanda was the victim. The courts would likely side with her. Robert had filed too. Same demands. Full custody. The house. Everything. Jennifer's lawyer said the same thing. She was the one who'd cheated. She'd broken her vows. She'd lose. And the lawyers were right. Over the next 6 months, Michael and Jennifer would lose almost everything. Their marriages, their children spending most of the time with their other parents, their homes, their careers, their reputations, their standing in the community. By November, both divorces were finalized. Amanda got full custody of Sophie and Lucas. Michael got supervised visitation every other weekend. He moved into a small apartment in Dallas. Got a job managing a sporting goods store. It paid half what teaching had paid. He struggled to make ends meet. Robert got full custody of Olivia and Mason. Jennifer got standard visitation. She moved in with her parents in Oklahoma. Got a job as a substitute teacher at a school where nobody knew her, where nobody knew her story. She was lonely, isolated, broken. Michael and Jennifer tried to stay in touch, but it was painful. Every conversation reminded them of what they'd lost, of what they'd destroyed. The passion that had driven them together, it was gone, replaced by guilt, regret, resentment. By Christmas, they'd stopped talking altogether. The affair that had consumed them for 6 months, the love they thought was real, it had burned itself out, leaving nothing but ash and ruin in its wake. Today, nearly 2 years after that Friday afternoon in May, the aftermath continues. Amanda Torres is still in Texas. She never remarried, says she doesn't trust anyone anymore. Sophie is 14 now. Lucas is 11. They see their father once a month. The relationship is strained. Amanda has been in therapy working through the trauma, the betrayal. She's stronger now, but the scars, they're still there. Robert Hayes sold the house in Fairview, moved with Olivia and Mason to Colorado, started fresh. He's dating someone new, someone who makes him happy. Olivia is 12. Mason is 9. They see Jennifer during summer vacation. The relationship is complicated. They love their mother, but they don't trust her the way they used to. "How long?" Amanda asked. Her voice was shaking now, getting louder. "How long has this been going on?" Michael didn't answer. Jennifer didn't answer. The silence was deafening. "How long?" Amanda screamed. Students might have left for the day, but the janitors were still in the building. The principal might still be in his office. Amanda didn't care. She didn't care who heard her. 6 months, Michael finally said. His voice was quiet, ashamed. "Amanda, I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen. I never meant to hurt you." Amanda laughed, but it wasn't a real laugh. It was bitter, broken. "You never meant to hurt me. You've been sleeping with another woman for 6 months, and you never meant to hurt me?" Jennifer finally spoke. "Amanda, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. We should never have. Don't." Amanda cut her off. "Don't you dare apologize to me. Don't you dare make excuses. You knew he was married. You knew he had children, and you did this anyway." Amanda turned back to Michael. "I have given you everything. Everything. I gave up my career for you. I raised your children. I made our house a home. I supported every single thing you ever wanted to do. And this is how you repay me?" Michael reached toward Amanda. She stepped back. "Don't touch me. Don't you ever touch me again." Amanda was crying now, but her tears were angry, not sad. She looked at Michael. Really looked at him, like she was seeing him for the first time, or maybe seeing him clearly for the first time in years. "I want a divorce," Amanda said. "I want you out of my house. Tonight, I want you away from me, away from our children. You've destroyed everything, everything we built, everything we had." "For what? For her?" Amanda grabbed the bag of food from where she'd dropped it, threw it at Michael. It hit him in the chest, spilled everywhere. She didn't care. She turned to leave, stopped at the door, looked back one more time. "You'll regret this," Amanda said. "Both of you. You'll regret this for the rest of your lives." And then she left, walked back down the hallway, out to the parking lot, to her car where her children were waiting. Sophie and Lucas looked at their mom. Could tell something was wrong. Very wrong. "Mom, are you okay? Where's Dad?" Sophie asked. Amanda couldn't answer. She just started the car and drove home, tears blurring her vision, her hands shaking on the steering wheel, her heart shattered into a million pieces. Back in the classroom, Michael and Jennifer stood in silence, the weight of what had just happened crushing down on them. Their secret was out, their affair was exposed, and the consequences were just beginning. Jennifer left first, grabbed her purse, didn't look at Michael, didn't say anything, just ran out of the building, got in her car, and drove. She didn't know where she was going. She just needed to get away. From the school. From Michael. From the look on Amanda's face. Michael stayed in his classroom, staring at the mess, the spilled food, the destroyed marriage, the ruined lives. He pulled out his phone, called Amanda. She didn't answer. He tried again, again, again. She never picked up. Michael finally left the school around 6:30, drove home, his home, the home he'd shared with Amanda for 13 years, the home where his children were, where his family was, or where his family had been. When Michael pulled into the driveway, Amanda's car was there. The lights were on inside the house. Michael sat in his truck for 10 minutes, trying to figure out what to say, how to explain, how to fix this. But there was no fixing this. He knew that. Deep down, he knew. Michael walked into the house. Sophie and Lucas were in the living room watching TV. They looked up when their dad came in. "Dad, Mom's been acting weird. She won't talk to us. She locked herself in your bedroom." Michael's heart sank. He walked upstairs, stood outside his bedroom door, knocked, gently. "Amanda, can we please talk? Please?" No answer. Michael tried the door. It was locked. He knocked again. "Amanda, I know you're angry. I know I messed up. But we need to talk about this. For the kids. Please." Still no answer. Michael pressed his ear against the door. He could hear Amanda moving around inside, pulling drawers open, slamming them shut. What was she doing? "Amanda, please open the door." Michael's voice was desperate now, pleading. But Amanda didn't respond. Michael stood there for another 5 minutes. Then he heard footsteps getting closer to the door. He stepped back, hoping she was going to open it, hoping they could talk. But she didn't open the door. She just spoke through the wood. Her voice was cold, flat, empty. "I want you gone by tomorrow. Pack your things and get out. I'm filing for divorce on Tuesday. You can see the kids when my lawyer says you can see them. Not before. Amanda, please. Let's talk about this. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake, but we can work through this. We can go to counseling. We can..." "There's no we anymore, Michael. You destroyed that. Now get out of my sight." Michael stood there, not knowing what to do. He'd lost her. He'd lost everything. And it was his own fault. He walked back downstairs. Sophie and Lucas were staring at him, confused, scared. "Dad? What's wrong? Why is Mom upset?" Lucas asked. Michael couldn't tell them. "Not now. Not like this. Your mom and I were having some problems. Adult problems. But we're going to figure it out, okay? Everything's going to be okay." But everything wasn't going to be okay. Michael knew it, and somewhere deep down the kids knew it too. Michael grabbed some clothes from the laundry room, packed a bag, kissed his kids goodnight, and left. He checked into a hotel 10 minutes away, sat on the edge of the bed and tried to process what had just happened. His marriage was over. His family was broken. And it was all because of his choices, his lies, his affair. Meanwhile, Jennifer had driven to her own house. She'd sat in the driveway for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to go inside, how to face Robert, how to tell him. But she couldn't. Not yet. She needed time. She needed to think. Jennifer finally went inside around 8 p.m. Robert was making dinner. Olivia and Mason were doing homework at the kitchen table. It was normal, so painfully normal, and Jennifer was about to shatter it all. "Hey, honey," Robert said. "You're later than usual. Busy day?" Jennifer nodded, couldn't find words. Robert didn't notice. He was focused on the pasta, on making sure the sauce didn't burn, on being a good dad, a good husband. And Jennifer had betrayed him. For 6 months, with a coworker, in classrooms, in hotels. She'd lied to him every single day. "I'm not hungry," Jennifer said quietly. "I'm going to take a shower." She went upstairs, locked herself in the bathroom, turned on the water and broke down, sobbing. The guilt crushing her, the shame overwhelming her. She'd destroyed everything. Her marriage, her family, Amanda's family. For what? For a few stolen moments? For the thrill of something forbidden? Jennifer stayed in the shower until the water ran cold. Then she got out, dried off, put on pajamas and climbed into bed. Robert came in later, asked if she was feeling okay. She said she had a headache. He believed her. He always believed her. That night, in 3 different places, 3 adults lay awake. Michael in a hotel room, Jennifer in bed next to her unsuspecting husband, and Amanda alone in her bedroom, staring at the ceiling, her mind racing, her heart breaking, her world destroyed. The next morning, Saturday, May 20th, Amanda woke up with a decision. A final decision. She'd barely slept. She'd spent the entire night replaying the scene from Michael's classroom, seeing him with Jennifer, hearing his weak apologies, feeling the knife of betrayal twist deeper and deeper. By the time the sun came up, something inside Amanda had shifted. She needed to protect herself, protect her children, get away from this nightmare. Amanda got up, made breakfast for Sophie and Lucas, acted as normal as possible, told them their dad had to work today, that he'd be staying somewhere else for a while. The kids asked questions. Amanda deflected. She was running on autopilot, going through the motions. After breakfast, Amanda told the kids to go play in their rooms. She needed to make some phone calls. They obeyed. They could tell their mom was upset. They didn't want to make it worse. Amanda went into her bedroom, locked the door, sat on the edge of the bed and picked up her phone. She stared at Michael's contact. Part of her wanted to call him, to scream at him, to make him understand what he'd done. But another part of her knew there was no point. He'd made his choice. Now she had to make hers. Instead of calling Michael, she called her sister, Rebecca. Rebecca lived in Houston, 3 hours away, but they were close, always had been. "Mandy, what's wrong? It's 8 in the morning on a Saturday." Amanda broke down, told Rebecca everything, the affair, finding Michael with Jennifer, the betrayal, the devastation. Rebecca listened, and when Amanda was done, Rebecca said exactly what Amanda needed to hear. "Pack up the kids. Come stay with me. Get out of that house. Get away from him. You need space to think, to breathe, to figure out your next move." Amanda agreed. It was the right thing to do. She needed to leave, needed to protect her children from seeing her like this, needed to get herself together before she did something she couldn't take back. By 10 a.m., Amanda packed bags for herself and the kids, told Sophie and Lucas they were going to visit Aunt Rebecca for a few days. The kids were excited. They loved their aunt, loved her big house, her pool, her dogs. By 10:30, they were on the road. Amanda drove, her hands still shaking, her mind still racing. But with every mile that passed, she felt a little bit of the rage subsiding, replaced by something else. Grief. Deep, overwhelming grief. Meanwhile, Michael had been calling Amanda all morning, texting, begging to talk. But Amanda had blocked his number. She didn't want to hear his voice, didn't want to see his name pop up on her screen. She needed silence, space, distance. Michael finally drove to the house around noon. Amanda's car was gone. He used his key to get inside. The house was empty. Some of the kids' stuff was missing: clothes, toys, toothbrushes. Amanda had taken them somewhere. But where? Michael tried calling Amanda's parents. They didn't answer. He tried her sister, straight to voicemail. Everyone had closed ranks around Amanda. He was shut out completely. Jennifer was in her own hell. Saturday morning, she'd woken up to dozens of missed calls and texts from other teachers, from parents, from friends. The story had spread. Someone had seen Amanda's car at the school Friday evening. Someone had heard shouting from Michael's classroom. The rumors were flying. By Saturday afternoon, the entire town knew. Michael Torres and Jennifer Hayes having an affair. Caught by Michael's wife. The scandal was everywhere. Facebook, the neighborhood group chat, the church prayer chain. Robert finally found out around 2 p.m. A friend from work called him, asked if he'd heard about Jennifer and Michael Torres. Robert was confused. What about them? And then his friend told him. The affair, the confrontation, everything. Robert hung up, walked into the living room where Jennifer was sitting staring at her phone, at the messages flooding in, the accusations, the judgment, the shame. Is it true? Robert asked. His voice was calm. Too calm. That scared Jennifer more than if he'd been yelling. Jennifer looked up, saw Robert's face, and she knew. He knew. Robert, I can explain. Is it true? Not a question this time, a demand. Jennifer started, crying. Yes, I'm so sorry, Robert, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake. I never meant for any of this to happen. Michael Torres is still in Dallas, still working at the sporting goods store. He's tried dating, but every relationship ends the same way. The women find out about his past, about what he did, and they leave. He sees his kids once a month. Sophie barely speaks to him. Lucas tries, but it's awkward, painful. Michael lives with the consequences every single day. Jennifer Hayes is still in Oklahoma, still substitute teaching, still living with her parents. She's tried to move on, but everywhere she goes, she carries the weight of what she did. The shame, the guilt, the knowledge that she destroyed 2 families for something that wasn't even real. Michael and Jennifer haven't spoken in over a year. There's nothing left to say. The affair that brought them together has left them both completely alone. This case raises so many questions. Questions that people in Fairview are still asking. Questions that Amanda and Robert are still asking. Questions that Michael and Jennifer are still asking themselves. How did it get to this point? When did friendship cross the line into something more? And why didn't they stop before it was too late? Some say Michael and Jennifer are victims of their own emotions. That they fell in love and couldn't help themselves. That the heart wants what it wants. But others say that's just an excuse. That love doesn't justify betrayal. That they made a choice every single day for 6 months. They chose to lie, to sneak around, to destroy their families. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Michael and Jennifer were in struggling marriages. They were lonely, unhappy, looking for something, anything, to fill the void. And they found each other. But instead of doing the hard work of fixing their marriages or having the courage to leave before starting something new, they took the easy way out, the selfish way. And in doing so, they hurt everyone around them. 4 children lost the families they knew. 2 spouses lost their trust in love. 2 careers ended in disgrace. And 2 people who thought they'd found their soulmates ended up more alone than they'd ever been. If there's one lesson to take from this tragic story, it's this. Affairs don't just hurt the people having them. They destroy families. They traumatize children. They shatter trust. They leave scars that never fully heal. If you're in a marriage that's struggling, talk to your spouse. Go to counseling. Do the work. Or if the marriage is truly over, have the courage to end it before starting something new. Don't do what Michael and Jennifer did. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't destroy your family and someone else's family for a momentary escape. Because in the end, it's not worth it. The guilt, the shame, the loss, the loneliness, it's never worth it. Amanda Torres said it best in an interview with a local news station 6 months after the affair was exposed. They thought they were living some great love story, but all they did was create a tragedy, and the rest of us, we're the ones left to pick up the pieces. This is one of the most heartbreaking cases we've covered here at American Shadow, not because anyone died, but because so many lives were destroyed. 2 families torn apart, 4 children traumatized, 2 marriages ended, 2 careers ruined. All because of choices, bad choices, selfish choices, choices that could have been avoided. If you're watching this and you're in a situation like Michael or Jennifer, if you're tempted to cross that line, please don't. It's not worth it. Nothing is worth the destruction that follows. And if you're watching this and you're like Amanda or Robert, if you've been betrayed, if you're trying to pick up the pieces, please know that you're not alone. You didn't deserve this. And with time, with support, with help, you will heal. Thank you for watching this episode of American Shadow. If this story impacted you, please hit that like button. Share this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a case. Drop your state in the comments below and let us know your thoughts on this case. Do Michael and Jennifer deserve forgiveness? Or did they get what they deserved? Until next time, stay safe, stay faithful, and remember, the choices you make today will follow you for the rest of your life.